Welcome today to CCSF's Wednesday online class. And I'm Judy Hubbell. This is T'ai Chi Chih, 19 movements and 1 pose. And we will be doing some Qigong today. So I'll just show you my basic Qigong plan. I can't promise I'll ever follow anything as a plan, but this is it. And we do forward back weight shifting, side to side weight shifting, Buddhist walking meditation. We sometimes do Qigong related things, which can be anything to do with the breath, triple burner, the Buddhist picking up the Buddha picking up the world and sending it into a better place, the accordion, picking up a feather and letting it go, the owl, and the fountain. So I'll ever get to all of that, but that's the hope someday. And then Tai Chi Chuan related warm-up circles, which came from one of my Tai Chi Chuan teachers who hoped that I would do better than I did. Head and neck circles, shoulders, arms in a T, wrist circles, knocking at the gates, hip circles, and knee circles. So anyway, if you see this video, you can memorize all that, right? Okay, we're going to not start with that. We're going to start with breathing. So breathing, you're going to feel the breath at the belly and coming up towards the collarbones, either standing or seated. If you're seated, make sure that you're grounded with your feet into the earth so that your feet are not dangling, but they're on the earth. You're going to inhale belly, expansion through the rib cage up to the collarbones here, and exhale back down. Feeling the expansion and the contraction. That expansion and contraction comes right back to the Ming Men area. So as you inhale right here at the tummy, that's the lowest dantian or energy area. And as you exhale, the energy moves back like a wave to shore coming towards your lower spine or dantian. And you'll feel some change there, but you want to have a long spine all the way to the crown of the head, which is the back of the skull, through the cervical vertebrae, down this whole dorsal area here, through the rib area, and then down towards the lower spine. This can be also called a 3-part breath: abdomen, rib cage, upper chest, lengthening the spine, and a little bit of feeling of releasing on the exhale here, but not necessarily dropping the spine. But you will be feeling less lateral expansion. Now, if you were to think of the accordion, which is an instrument that people play often on our streets, you would inhale here, expanding the ribs, and exhale back, feeling the ribs cage get smaller. So that's contracting. Expanding to widen, lateral expansion. And as you exhale, everything gets diminished. You make your body smaller. So feel that inhale. And now I want you to count to 10. Inhale, make sure you have inhale. And exhale back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've run out of breath, and now I have to take a new breath, causing expansion. So anything you want to do that's long like that will help you realize that all sound moves on the gesture of exhalation. So inhaling here, and any kind of sound you want to make. I won't hear it. Go ahead, sing. Try it on. I don't know how that sounds online, probably terrible. Sound doesn't work very well seen, but you can sing anything. That's Om, and Om, which is the universal symbol that we use in yoga, is 3 different vowels: ah, o, u, and then 1 consonant. So just say it. Slowly separating all the vowels. Breathe in. Ah. And we usually sing it, so any pitch works. But you realize then that how important it is that we can breathe well, because even though people now, when they're talking, often use a microphone to be heard, we have this amazing apparatus that doesn't make that necessary. If you learn how to resonate the voice, you can make plenty of noise, even outside. All right, so let's now do our next item here. We're going to do a side-to-side weight shift. So we're going to stand for this. But that's just a little bit how you might think about the breath. Feel free to use a chair, a stool, whatever you need today. Side-to-side weight shifting. Place your palms on your hips, hip bones here. Open the feet as if you're going to be riding a horse. Your heels are in the stirrups. And then just feel that sense of a little bit of a bounce. And notice that your knees won't go beyond the big toe and the toe next to it on either side, but they're splayed out. But what's so important is that the hip, the knee, and the ankle, and the big toe and the toe next to it are in alignment. Otherwise, we can hurt ourselves. So as we shift laterally for a side-to-side weight shift, feel the whole body, that whole unit of the upper chest, the rib cage, the hips, the knees, everything's moving together, not separately. Not this, but just solidly like that. And then once we get to the side we want to be having our substantial leg on, the other leg becomes ready to go. There's not much weight in it. This is substantial, this is insubstantial over here on your left side. Release the left leg forward, but leave some space between your heels so that you don't ever have a cross here so that you fall over. So enough space so that you feel that the heels support you as you move forward, slightly bending the front leg, releasing the back heel, and then coming back to bring the toes up. They don't come up because you make them come up, they come up because you've shifted the weight forward here. Now the weight's fully in the front foot. That knee is slightly bent. The back heel is up here because it's a straight leg. That's yin, this is yang. Now as you go back, you're going to slightly bend that back leg, placing all the weight into it pretty much, except maybe 10% is left, and then release the toes in front. And just do that a few times. And glide through the middle so that the toes release at the very last moment. And when you get forward, the heels release at the very last moment. There's a glide through the center. Glide, release the toes. Glide forward now, release the heel. So this is forward, this is back. Imagine actually that you're holding onto ropes. You've probably seen pictures of fishermen with rope together. So it's kind of like that. Imagine you've got a rope that's pulling you forward and a rope that's pulling you back. All right, now we're going to come back into our rider on horse position. That's rider on horse position. And you're gonna just drop down a minute, second here, and shift over towards your left side. I'm mirroring you today, so this is my right foot, but you're on your left over here. This is substantial now. There's a lot of weight in it. Theoretically, I should be able to do something with this leg. It's pretty light, and it's going to become the yin leg in front. Only the heel will drop. And it's straight, meaning the knee is not locked, but it's a straight leg. Now I'm going to shift forward and back. Heel lift and back. Come back. Once you've glided through and feel the toe lift in front. Motivated by whatever is bending and whatever is straightening, this happens on its own. But often people forget, including me, that we need to glide through the center. And that's what allows for slowness. Making this very different from aerobic exercise. Okay, so now a side-to-side weight shift, probably the perfect example is carry the ball to the side. So we've come over here, we have about 5 feet to get over to there. We drop down in our rider on horse position. Inhale over here to your right with a ball here, picking up a ball, and then release the energy into this yan leg or substantial leg that's slightly bent, and then let this insubstantial leg do what it wants to do. It just wants to go out here, and the heel needs to come down. That allows me and you to carry that ball over here 3 times, dropping it kind of in the middle so that it's a circle. Everything is circular, continuous. Let's keep going here for a second. Usually we just do 3 of these, but right now we're going to get the feeling of it. Just getting the feeling of it. Good. Now let's bring all our weight into this left leg and then bring the other foot in. And now we're back into the rising position, which is an inhale. Sinking and rising has a lot to connect to with inhaling and exhaling. So let's exhale now down. The feet are in a V already. Drop. Blow it out maybe. And then inhale here. And we'll just do 3 of these over here. So you're going to shift into this right leg for you and move left. And notice how the palms aren't really doing anything much, but they are carrying the ball to the side 3 times. And then we do 1 more. So everything pretty much leads to 9 eventually. First few moves to me are still warm-ups until I get to the daughters, and then I feel a sudden change of energy in daughter in the ballet. Inhale here and release. So this particular move, carry the ball to the side, comes somewhat before you get to the taffies, which also is another interesting shifting. So let's look at the taffies for a moment. When you drop down in your rider on horse position, lengthening the spine, feeling the Ming Men not out there, but right underneath you. Bring your right hand underneath, or your youngster with the right hand right underneath your elbow. Bring out your right heel and pull the energy towards me. Inhale and release. Let's do that again. And blow out as you pull the taffy. 1 more. Inhale. And now release. Okay, let's go the opposite way. Bring your left hand under the elbow. They'll be like this. Pull the taffy, bring your left heel out, pull. And release. Do it again, same hand. Pull. And release. And keep moving towards me. Pull. And release. So what I want you to feel is that we're really using our core a lot. And this we call the energy sea or ocean. But it's because there's a connection between the feet and the breath, which in Qigong starts here at the belly, not up here. It starts there, but it connects all the way through the rib cage, all the way up. It's a full thing. So to do that, you need to also inhale through the nostrils. Let's go across this way. Inhale through the nostrils and the belly. Bring your right hand under, bring your right foot out. And make some noise with that exhale. Now feel the inhale as you stand. So that's a rising movement, isn't it? Now exhale to sink. And now bring the other hand under the elbow. Out with your other leg here, your left. Pull the energy. And blow out. And now bring in the head. And inhale. So that's an exaggeration, but it works. Okay, let's do it again. Inhale. Can you feel that down here in the belly? That's what I want you to feel, because you're basically using your abdominal muscles. Okay, and back. And there's a little bit of sinking and rising that's happening. Okay. Triple burner. Qigong, some Qigong here. Arms come up on the inhale and down through 3 Dan Qians. Head, heart and lungs, abdomen. Last one. Beautiful. Buddha picks up the earth. This is sort of an environmental statement, I think, but we need to change the world to make it better, right? If Buddha were here, he or she would probably say that. Exhale down. Pick up the world on the inhale. Turn the palms over and push it up into the sky to make it better. Send it towards the sun. Notice the subtle sinking and rising in this. It's everywhere. One more. And release. Very good. Head rolls, bringing the head, chin down towards the chest and just rolling halfway over to this ear. And then rolling back to the center, back to the chest, back to the other side. And add an inhale, exhale here. Inhale and now exhale, center. Inhale, center. And exhale towards the other side. This ear's over here, the shoulder. And then switch. All the way this time. All the way to the other ear, making a half circle. Good, now take that circle around from that ear over this shoulder to the opposite one. And then up and around. Bring the shoulders down by clasping the hands behind you. Head rolls are really important. If you do have any issues with the neck, then do this with a smaller circle, like having a dog collar on, making it really small. So basically the nose is doing the turning. And then when you next come to the other side, go the opposite direction. And keeping the shoulders down, change again. Perhaps left to right. And then change right to left. And generally, if you clasp the hands behind you for that, they'll keep the shoulders from getting involved. Now we're going to intentionally roll the shoulders, making elbow circles. Inhale forward, up, back and down. This is just relaxing all of our joints before we begin Tai Chi Chih. And go the opposite direction, back, up, forward and down. And last one. Good. Shake it all out, starting from the toes all the way up, shake out everything. It's a very Qigong move that releases all your joints. It makes you feel a little like a wild person, and that's good for all of us. Good, now slow it down. Good. Our next is going to be to bring the arms out into a T. And circle them from this joint here. With a fairly long arm, the elbows are not locked, but there's a lot of length in the arms. You can feel the energy moving all the way to the fingers with the forward circles here. And then take it the opposite way. It involves a little bit of strength, so anything you need to modify today, please be my guest. Good. Now we're going to bring the elbows close to the body, but not tight. Nothing's really going to be tight. Then circle from the elbows down to the fingers. Forward. Good. And then back. And you notice I'm pretty much following whatever number I have on one side and the other. Yeah, it's just as a musician, kind of comes naturally for me. If I do 6, I'm going to do 6 on the other side. So now you're going to come forward, side, back, side. This is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can make the circle of the hips, forward, side, back, side. You're really working this whole core area of the lower spine and the hips here. We want to make sure that we have a relaxed lower back and that we know how to use all our joints, including this connection. Now we're going to go the opposite direction. We just did this. Now we're going to go this way. Good. It doesn't really take a lot of time to do these things, but they're wonderful for them. All the joints. Now you brought your feet together and you're going to bring the knees together with your palms holding onto them, but not tight again, just loose with the knees. And then you're going to make a circle that takes you to the left and around to the right, holding onto those knees. This is for the little muscles that surround the knee that need to be warmed up. And I've just, sorry, I should mention not this, but I just, automatically bend over from my hips, not my waist. So let's do that again. Come up here, hold on to the hips, bend forward from the waist, hold on to the knees, and we'll go the opposite way. We just went this way, now we're gonna go this way. You wanna always move forward with a flat back from the hips, not the waist. Good. Now, if that's comfortable for you, you can round to the back, go down and touch your ankles or your toes, and come back up slowly. And release. Well, it's a little bit of Qigong and a little bit of Tai Chi Chuan warm-up circles. And I think we're really ready now to do Tai Chi Chih 19 movements in one pose. Rocking motion. So the palms and the front part of your arms and the wrists engage the arms here in a way that picks up energy from the earth, sends it up towards the sky. And the sky says, okay, I will just recycle this, send it back to earth. Here's your inhale. Here's your exhale. And the knees are quite flexible here. So they're going to bend and then they're going to straighten as you come back and release the toes. You're going to bend again. And as you come forward, you're going to release the heels as the legs more or less straighten, but don't lock the knees. Feel the knees release right here. And you feel them straight, but you come back to release the toes. And then you release the heels the same way. It's a lot of sinking and rising, right? Very basic concept of Qigong practices. Are you feeling your inhale? Inhale into the belly. Release the jaw a little bit of inner smile here. Think of it as the joy of movement. That was how it was conceived. Release any tension in the face. Last one. Sink it now through the earth, really slowly. Once again, let's ground it again. Slowly turn the palms around with the wrists. And we'll ground it one more time. We just took it to the heart. Now we'll take it above back to the head, which is your highest dantian or energy center. Bring it down through the heart area. Middle dantian, back down to the abdomen. And now let the palms rest in resistance to gravity on globes of energy. And tap out your heels. That's good. You want a lot of flexibility in the feet. Good. All right, our next move is bird flaps its wings. Your heels are going to come close together, but not touching, because you want to be able to drop down and not go beyond that big toe. So just a little bit of dropping to make this connection between hip, knee, ankle, big toe, and the toe next to it. Bird flaps its wings, starting with an inhale. This is a rising move. Now this is a sinking move. Heels will lift up as you come to the front of the foot, like a frog. Except it's a bird. Bird's on the edge of a branch. Inhale that. Sinking and rising. Great concept. Sink and let yourself let the heels lift up, so you'll be on the front of the foot. And one more. Palms come back together, then they separate. And the third time they separate, there's a wrist circle forward, as the bird is learning how to fly. And then exhale that into the earth. And now we move to our next move, which involves our first forward back weight shift of the day. And this one is around the platter. Platter being a big dish. When I learned this years ago, they called it a pizza platter because everything was rounded. And we were not supposed to let the pizza sauce go off the edge by going like that. So that's how I first learned around the platter. We were giggling through the whole training. Here we go. This is around the platter in chest high water. And the water makes sense because when you're in the water about to take a swim, you always want to test it first. See if it's cold or warm. So let the fingers feel the rim of this platter like you might test the water. And this is really probably very old, going back to a time when people did go to the recent stream or lake or wherever there was a body of water where they could bathe and test the water. So this is called in chest high water. Around the platter. 9 times. Thinking of it as water and the temperature of it brings chi to your fingers. And we want that feeling of intrinsic energy moving through all the cells into our extremities like fingers and toes. That's what makes this a meditation and an energy practice based on Tai Chi. Qigong. One more. Inhale back to your heart on the exhale. Ground it. Shift it towards your left. Prepare the palms to come from the heart. And begin the platter on the opposite side. And it starts outside your front knee and then moves to the opposite knee. Feeling it from the inside out. Last one on your right side. Inhale now and release. Double ground it. Double ground it when we get to the right side helps us remember that we've gotten to the right side. We always start with the left foot. And now we shift towards your right to bring the left heel forward or around to the platter variation, which will pick up this ball of energy right by the shoulder that's right opposite, right above the leg that's moving forward and back right now, front leg. So now it's on the left side, that platter and that ball are going to move towards the other side in a circle. With the fingertips dropping from that ball, right opposite the heart. And everything is slow, continuous, circular, and moving from the center. Last one on this side. Good. Inhale it and ground it through the earth. Shift it over towards your left side and release your right heel. Around the platter variation, right side. It always feels like precious energy or something. Like that ball and then you let it go. It goes out there somewhere in a circle. Sort of like a gift. Last one. Beautiful. Come back to ground. To celebrate that right side, we do 2 of these groundings, at least. Sometimes we do more. Let's do 3. Go up to the trees. One of you is outside. Come up to the sky. If you took a walk this morning, it was beautiful. And see or imagine the sun today. Gives us a little bit of back bend of the upper spine. Good. Resting on globes of energy as we begin our next move. And we are moving into our right side here to bring the left forward. For bass drum, and you become the drum. This is the edge of the drum, it's a circle. And as that circle of the edge moves back towards you, the elbows seem to come back with hips. Feel yourself as the drum. This includes, of course, your breath. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract back towards the lower back, in that area. Connect that to your feet and you'll feel even more grounding. Last one on your left side. A bass drum. Inhale and sink it through the earth. What would it have been like to be one of the first drummers? Exciting. Inhale and release. We're on the other side now. On your right side. Got to say that. Your right leg is coming forward. And you're exhaling back. Feel the rhythm of it. So slow, and we need to remember to glide through the center. As you're coming forward and back, and release the heel, and release the toe, but not in the middle, you'll release there. So glide, release the heel, glide, back, release the toe. And last one. Slide that leg back and take a breath in and put it through the earth. Daughter on the mountaintop, daughter in the valley. Shift towards your right to release the left. Palms are just out from the hips here. Open, ready to receive the mountain. And then the back foot, remember it's 45-degree angle to the front. Heels are never crossing. Give yourself some space, but not too wide. One more on this side. Drop that foot back. Sink the energy. Shift laterally towards your left. Release your right. And begin your daughter on the mountaintop on the right side. Now come to each side mountain. In the center is a valley where you're going to bring the central trail down. But your left hand will be close to the heart because of the fact this is a meditation. The more you can feel your energy seed today with your feet, the more you'll really begin to see how this is an amazing practice as far as grounding, balancing, and connecting both hemispheres of the brain. It's something I've never found anything like it. Simple, but so invasive in a certain kind of good way. Last one of daughter on the mountaintop. She's reached the tops of the mountains. She's come through the central valley. And now she's going to do it again, but starting from the top of the mountains, with the palms up here, to come through the valley and below. So it's going to change the breath. Exhale down. You come through the valley, inhale up. Palms are in polarity here. Cultivate it. Breathe in all the way up to here and then over the mountains. Look over and then exhale down. So this is the move that slows me down. It's just this point of energy work where after about 20 minutes, you're there. Everything starts to come together, the breath, the movement, the softness, continuity, the circularity, and the sense of moving from the center. Last one. Release the leg, inhale to ground it, to shift it laterally towards your left. Release the right. Start on top of the mountains with the palms just above the shoulders. And then exhale down. Bring it through the central core of the inhale here. Central meridian is receiving a real bath of energy there. Take it in. Two more. Last one. Inhale to release it to the ground. Double ground. So take your time for this. Let's sleepwalk this down. Even slower than that. That's good though. Inhale. Breathing in through your nostrils and your belly, all the way through the whole Sagittorian area and come down. And now rest on globes of energy. And we're going to shake it out in a minute because that was pretty intense. And maybe even get a sip of water before we go to our next moves. There's two of them before we get to the tappies. Okay. Yeah, you always need to feel free to hydrate. Means drinking water. Water and air are two essentials. Okay, our next moves are push, pull, and pulling in the energy. So let's shift briefly side to side. And the first one of those, we're doing an exhale forward and an inhale back. Second one, we're doing an inhale forward and an exhale back. So the two opposite uses of the breath are interesting. First one, inhale first, shift over towards your right, release your left, push, pull, also called in Kapasatar, an international movement using T'ai Chi Chih. Giving and receiving energy. This is really a beautiful circle here, energy. Exhaling forward. Inhaling back. Stay focused. Good, as your fingertips come forward, let them come up here. And they sort of rise. And then let them sort of bathe the face with that energy of the inhale here. Beautiful, that's it. And turn the circle around and come down. Back up. Back. So the wrists are really connecting here to the fingers in a special way with the breath. You can almost feel that energy touch your face, can't you? It's so amazing. One more of push pull on your left side. Good, now draw the foot back in and sink that energy through the earth. Shift it towards your left. Release your right heel. Push, pull, right side. Watch the spine here. At this point in the practice, it often starts to droop. So lengthen. Shoulders back and down. I like to slowly blow out on this one. Blowing out a candle. And inhale back sometimes. I don't always follow the Qigong practice of the breath, sometimes play with it. But the more you can use the nostrils for your breath and the belly at the same time, the more you'll feel the fullness of this breath through the whole spine. Theoretically, this is exhaling forward, like you're pushing something, and then into the back to the heart. In a circle. Two more. Last one. Beautiful. Bring the leg back in. Inhale and exhale it through the earth. Double grounded. Now its companion is pulling in the energy from the farthest star in the universe through the fingertips, shifting subtly towards your right already, and starting out with your left leg. Fingertips are up this time with your circle, and you're taking in that energy through your fingertips from the most distant star in the universe. Whatever your universe is. Last one on your left side. Inhale the foot back. Sink the energy through the earth. Shift it laterally towards your left. Release your right. Pulling in energy from the farthest star in the universe. A visualization within this moving meditation here. Since it's the lunar new year, let's bring in some really positive breath energy. Soft, continuous, kind, gentle. Reaching out to help others. Last one. On your right. Of going in the energy. Preparing to ground it through the earth. If you need to hydrate here, you may. Because when we work with the breath, we get like, oh, need to hydrate. This next move is called basic taffy. And we are right here where the rubber band is here. Pulling taffy, basic taffy. We have 3 variations after that. Anchor, circles taffy, and perpetual motion taffy with heel step. So we start with basic, you'll see it come back, feel it come back in each variation. Now your right hand is underneath your left elbow, and you pull the energy with the help of your weight shift side to side. And it's slow, and one hand moves up from underneath, and the other hand above moves down. Just a matter of what support the yin leg needs. And the yang leg doesn't need a lot, so that hand moves up to the sky. And the other hand moves down towards the earth. 2 lines of energy, always connecting the sky and the earth. The yin and the yang, all the opposites. Winding up, pulling the taffy, bringing the other foot in, the yin leg comes in. Noticing the feeling of one hand that was underneath moving up and one hand that was on top moving down. I always think of that in terms of politics too. That there's always these changes that we do in every day. Last one, a basic taffy. Sink it into the earth. We've got time, let's double ground it. Anchor taffy will be next. It's like you're a boat and you have an anchor that you drop down, which is going to be your right leg. And then as you move forward, you're going to let your boat move away from the anchor, but it's still keeping you there. And then you open the hip. Your invite hand, and the invite hand, which is this one, is going to move you underneath the other elbow to the opposite side. And the other leg that was the anchor is now the front leg. Your left leg will be the anchor. Opposites always exchanging. Anchor taffy. And the taffy feels kind of sticky. The palms are crossing each other, but they're not really touching. Heavy air. You're enjoying pulling through heavy air. Enjoy the time as takes. 2 more sets of anchor tapping. Last group of 2. And returning your boat to port. Sink the energy into the earth, double ground it. As we move into circles tapping. This move uses a lot of sinking and rising, so enjoy it. There you go, back to basic. And think it for a minute here just to ground it and then start again. Last one. And double ground it. And sink it into the earth. Perpetual motion tapping is our last variation. It's the 3rd one, and it has a heel step. So when you come over to this side and you release this heel, having grounded this leg, substantial leg, insubstantial leg, lift the insubstantial leg, drop the heel, send all the energy through it into the toes finally. When it gets to the toes, you're ready to go the opposite way. Just as that leg finishes straightening. Then you're ready to lift the opposite way. Good, here we go. Perpetual motion tapping, meaning forever tapping. So once you get fully balanced on this foot and you lift the other heel, it's easy. Once you lift the heel, let the energy move all the way to the toes of that foot, and then lift the other side. All the while you're doing this tapping motion, where one hand is underneath, and then it becomes the top hand. So feel that. There's energy moving up here, and there's energy moving below in the belly. There's energy moving in the feet. It's all one energy. And let's do a couple more here. We're almost done. These you can do forever. Because it's perpetual motion. One more set. Beautiful. Inhale and sing it through the earth. Double ground this one. We move into quite different move next. It's a cross body move. So it's finally kind of a funny little switch here. Okay, so now switch your energy towards your right leg. Bring your left hand forward, your left heel forward, your right palm under the hip here. And the back hand's going to go like this and come forward. And the right hand's going to go first like this. Come back and come forward. So it's companion and leadership. Right now, the left hand is leading. And the other hand is behind, but doing the same thing. Yesterday outside we were on pavement. It's a little bit hard to swivel a foot there. If you have carpet or anything you can swivel the foot on, this does protect your knees and your hips. So I'm swiveling on the back ball of the foot and on the front. I'm sorry, the back ball of the foot, yes, on the front heel. That allows me to turn those elements of the hip, the knee, and the ankle together to protect my knees. One more on this side. Good, now bring that leg back to ground it. And now prepare for the opposite side, right hand, right foot, and a swivel on the back ball of the foot, and the front heel, as you cross body with this, working the pulley right side. Last one here. Well, let's do one more set. So much fun. Last one. Bring the foot back in. Prepare to ground it through the earth. Let's triple ground it. We're moving into the move that takes us to the top of the head. So we'll bring it to the heart. The head. Above that, the trees and the sky. And to the sun or the moon. That was a little more than tripling it, but you can do as many groundings as you want. I think they're very effective for the body. They're lengthening through breath. Like that. Now bring your feet into a V here. Preparing for light at the top of the head, light at the temple, sinking and rising. Here's your light, looks like that. Now sink and rising. Come to the balls of your feet. Circle the palms forward. It's been called massaging the Tao, the sense of a ball. Massaging. 6 to 9 times. It's probably about 9. Let's hold it. Inhale into here to prepare to sink and rise. Let it go. As your light, all those good thoughts, words, actions that you do. Sink it through the earth. Bring it back to your heart with your left hand on your inhale. Through the central meridian. Sink it down. The exhale. Bring it to the temples. Light at the temple. All your wonderful imagination is there. Synchronize it. Your artistry, painting, designing, music, it's all there. Circling the energy. To keep that thinking going between the left and right hemisphere, so important. Hold the energy. Sink and rise, your light at the temple. Drop it slowly into the earth. Bringing it back to the heart of your left hand. And sinking it down slowly. Our next move is joyous breath. It's considered the most yang move we have. And I think of it as fairly macho. So I like to make some noise here. I'm going to use ha today. Ready? Inhale. 4 exhales down. To the balls of your feet on the inhale. Ha! 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 I'll do it just with breath. Now do it just like blowing out. However you do that, it's quite energizing. Consider the most yang move we have. Sometimes I even like to make it pretty macho. All up to you, that's up to you. All right, now we're going to do our next move, which is passing clouds, where everything changes and we stay centered. Feet are in a V, but fairly open, wide stance. You can just do a simple side-to-side weight shift if you like, or you can have one energy leg coming forward and one kind of back in the same side. That way you can touch the elbows. And outside, it's really fun to follow the mirror hand. So if you do that, you probably want to release your back heel. I'll give you that option because I love outside practice. I don't follow the rules always. You can also explore your room. Cracks in the ceiling, maybe the artwork on the walls. Just have fun with it. Now bring it back to center and make it quite simple. Where you don't follow the mirror hand, which is right here as it comes in front of your face, but you let it go. Taking us back to the simplicity of Tai Chi Chih, which makes it more of a meditation of your own. But just passing the heart with no special detail. And then when you have enough of it, it's coming back to center, releasing the outside leg, and preparing for our next 6 healing sounds, which will be in a minute here. Let's ground this, make sure we get relaxed. And this is heart, whole, spleen, who, liver, su, sh, lungs, shi, triple heater, and chui, kidneys. Don't run away. We'll be doing this together. Your left hand, your left foot. Oh, we'll say it first. Ooh. Su. Now your right foot, your right hand. Sh. Shi. Chui. Once again. Ho. Left hand, left foot. Who. Su. Right hand, right foot. Sh. Shi. Chui. Ho. Heart. Who. Spleen. Su. Liver. Sh. Lungs. Shi. Triple heater. Chi. And chui for the kidneys. Chui. And we go back 5 times here. Chui. Turn the palms over like your ravens in the sky. Chui. Chui. And use your heel step. Chui. Now we're going to do it again without any sound. You ready? Heel step. And since San Franciscans often use choi. Because it hits the kidneys pretty hard. So I'll leave those choices to you. Life is meant to be open, inventive. Now, cosmic consciousness, pose your left heel to your right ankle bone. Inhale, open the arms to embrace the world. Bring your left hand closer to the heart with the fingers open. Interlock the fingers, bring them overhead. And perhaps with them still interlocked, bring them forward. This practice is for you, for me, for everyone. It's very open, and we're very grateful for the work of Wen-Shan Wong and Justin Stone in T'ai Chi Chih. Thank you for your practice, for coming today online. And